Hello Wisegivers, I have officially started my 2019 Wisegiver Adventure travels, and my first stop was in Mexico. Today I just want to give you a quick update on my time at Love in Action Children's Home in Chapala, Jalisco. Annabelle Frutos is the one who started Love in Action, and she's originally from the Guadalajara area, but she and her husband moved to Chapala to be missionaries. So back in 2001, when she saw the need and the poverty in the area, she started a feeding ministry from her own kitchen for the children in the neighborhood. Eventually, it grew bigger, and she ended up starting Love in Action Children's Home. Love in Action's mission is to provide Christ-centered care for abandoned, abused, and orphaned children. Love in Action was growing fast and doing really well, but over time, as the people who originally were involved in Love in Action were no longer there, negative influences started coming into places of leadership, which ended up causing the biblical standards that they had set to start to break down. When Annabelle realized what was happening about 3 years ago, she brought it to the Lord and decided that she needed to look for new leadership and new volunteers to be a part of what God is doing there so that they could keep a Christ-centered culture at Love in Action. So what Annabelle did was she went to the local churches and asked if they would be willing to step into leadership roles at Love in Action, as well as volunteer to care for the basic needs that were necessary to keep Love in Action up and running. Since then, things have been going really well and just continuing to grow. You can't help but notice the joy, the peace, and the harmony among the people there at Love in Action. My biggest takeaways from this experience are that God is in the business of restoration. The enemy tried to destroy the biblical foundation that was started at Love in Action, but God has been restoring that, and He's been using the church as a key component for that restoration. Number two is that the church has a wide open door to be a part of what God is doing in our communities. Something that I want to encourage you to do is to find out how your local church is involved in community and ministries in your community, and be a part of what God is doing there, because it makes a big difference. And lastly, no matter what gifts, talents, and skills that you have, they can be used by the Lord. So don't underestimate how God can use you in those different ways, and just jump in and be a part of what He's doing. That's my update for now. I tried to make this video a little bit earlier, but that obviously didn't happen. So I'm making this video in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport and trying to get it up on the internet so that I don't get behind on my updates, because I do really want to share with you what God is doing. So until then, may we continue to learn, serve, and inspire as we discover what it means to be Wisegivers of love in our community. Adios.